Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I just want to start with a small story of mine before I begin my actual speech. 2 years ago, I was just coming back from a knee injury playing soccer when my friend asked me to pass the ball to him. Now, after 5 weeks of no actual exercise, my body wasn't used to the twisting and turning needed to pass the ball. So, when I did go for this pass, I twisted my back a little bit too far and displaced a disc in my spine, a much worse injury than the one I had before. I thought that because I was almost fully recovered, that something as simple as passing a ball would have no repercussions, but I was wrong. And after this, I did wonder, how could such a simple thing, such as a pass, end up with me being injured worse than I was before? The answer was simple. It was the no pain, no gain mindset that I had at the time. The same mindset that's hurting the careers of many other young athletes. It's the idea that injuries aren't a big deal and can easily be overcome. Most this isn't true at all. Unfortunately, this mindset is already having an impact on this generation of young athletes the most. ABC News has documented a 74% increase in ACL tears over the past few years. This statistic, along with my own experience, goes to show that sport injuries and the risk of a sport injury is far too often overlooked by both young athletes and those who care for them. But it's more important than ever now to actually recognize this issue and do something about it because of how prominent it's becoming in youth sport. I think that this issue is important both to me and other young athletes because of what a prominent issue this is, and also because it can limit our potential. Because being injured due to a sport injury means anywhere from weeks to months to even a whole season of sport being wasted. Playing soccer for around 8 years has lended me a first-hand view of this, and that's why this issue is so close to my heart, and I'm so keen to present my solution to this issue. Now, solving this issue isn't hard either. It requires 3 fundamental things: accountability, encouragement, and communication. These are coincidentally the same things needed to create good habits. The current situation in youth sport right now is that some sport clubs are trying to encourage their players to do exercises at home. However, encouragement alone is not enough to achieve good results. That's why my proposition is to make all sporting clubs make their players do mandatory strength and conditioning exercises in order to decrease the rate of injury. Things like strengthening exercises, jogging, and stretching have all been proven to help decrease the injury rate in youth sports. And if these can be done consistently, on a daily basis, the results can be incredible. One successful instance of this solution working is the FIFA 11+ injury prevention program. This program was devised by international experts to help decrease injury rates in youth soccer, and many research projects were conducted on it. One such project involved 419 youth soccer players aged 14 to 19 years old, divided into 2 groups over a 6-month season. One group used this FIFA 11+ program and one group didn't, and the statistics that were revealed were shocking. There was a 41% decrease in overall injuries for athletes who did use the program compared to those who didn't, and a 48% decrease in lower limb injuries, injuries like calf injuries, ankle injuries, and hip injuries, and so on. Keep in mind, this regime was only used before training sessions and matches. So think about what would happen if this was used every day on a consistent basis. The even more amazing thing is that this isn't the only example of this solution working. No, not at all, because in fact, the Shred Injuries basketball program and the netball knee injury prevention program are other instances of this solution working, and they all have one thing in common. Injury prevention works when young athletes are given the right tools and encouraged to use them consistently. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there are systems that are ready to be used. However, one issue that you may have all noticed as well is that young athletes, being the kids they are, will find it hard to stay consistent with these exercise habits. That's where the coaches come in. The coaches should be responsible for keeping the athletes accountable for doing their exercises on a consistent daily basis, and they can employ some systems to achieve this. For example, getting the athletes to report back that they've done their exercises for the week on every single day, or getting the parents to confirm this can help drive even more effective results. Another thing that many young athletes overlook is the amazing support circle that they have around them, consisting of parents, teammates, the club, and coaches. And the impact that these people can have on a young athlete's injury prevention journey is incredible. Because if they can all encourage this, it makes it so much easier for a young athlete to take their injury prevention seriously and create even better results. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with one last message. Sport injuries are hard on young athletes, but they don't know the impacts until they're actually injured themselves. That's why the responsibility falls on us to tell them about the no pain, no gain mindset, to tell them that injuries are hard to overcome, but there are ways to prevent them, so that they can enjoy playing their sport that they love without having to worry about the risk of being injured. Thank you.